And she says, "Okay, Sean, are you awake?" I like totally wasn't awake. I was like, "Yeah, I am totally up." I don't know if you do this with your parents, but I do this with my mom all the time. She's just like, "Oh, are you awake?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm up. I just have a cold. Don't worry about it. Oh, I was partying really hard last night." She knows I don't party. I play board games out in my hall, and that's like the big event of the week. But she's like, "Sean, I have a little bit of a problem." So immediately I'm like, okay, there's a nuclear bomb pointed at fucking Los Angeles, right? That has to be what's going on if I'm a little bit of a problem. And Mom says, DJ Wheat can't come to the event. And I was like, I would have preferred a nuclear bomb, right? Because DJ Wheat, again, anytime I think, ooh, I'm a hotshot, I get it. DJ Wheat's done it 4 years ago in China left-handed. He is a boss when it comes to, like, internet television broadcasting. So we're kind of like, oh my god. Now, it totally was out of DJ Wheat's control. He just got completely screwed over. So we're kind of like, oh my god. So I have to call up some other co-caster to find someone who can possibly come out to this event. And I'm like trying to think of people, because the problem is, I do my dailies by myself. As you can see, there's no one here. There's Manfred over there on the bed, but that's it, right? It's by myself. People who I've casted most with are DJ Wheat, Chill, and JP McDaniel, who I've been doing all sorts of the MLG showcase series and stuff with. So I call up JP. I'm like, dude, JP, oh my god, we're in this crisis. Is there any chance you can come out? We'll buy your ticket. We just need another co-caster. And JP's like, when I told you I wasn't doing shit this summer, I literally wasn't doing anything. Sure, I'm in. So JP like hops on board. So we're kind of like, oh my god, all right, cool. And in this final week, okay, so we think we have like JP kind of set. We're trying to figure out a way to get Wheat in. We're starting to realize that there's problems with the scheduling, with trying to get the TriCaster operators in there. And this now begins the dumbest part of everything. For those of you who don't live in Los Angeles, oh yeah, it's great. We have Hollywood. We have great shopping. Oh, we have plastic surgeons galore. You know, it seems like this glam town. The traffic is the dumbest thing in America. Literally, it's like, well, I need to go cross town. Okay, from 7 a.m. to about 11 a.m. You can't get anywhere. It takes about 2 hours to go 10 miles. That's about the rate. For instance, I live at USC, and I work at UCLA. When we have 10 a.m. meetings, we have to leave at 8 a.m. to get there, barely in time, and most of the time we're late. So 7 a.m. to 11 a.m., gone. And then from about 2:30 p.m. to 8 p.m., it's also traffic. So there's this narrow window of time where you can do anything. And I'm by USC, and Harvey Mudd's in Claremont, about 45 minutes away. So we have to start doing things like getting food orders and physically picking stuff up and carting it around. And every single day we only have like 3 hours in which to do this. We contacted GameStop to get copies of the game brought out to the store, and they're like, okay, well, we need to have some stuff in person. We need to make sure that all the stuff can get picked up, and we needed to constantly go to Harvey Mudd, but we could only do it between these periods of time. We're like locked everywhere. It's like this post-apocalyptic setting. It's like ridiculous. It like makes no sense in the slightest. But anyways, so we're kind of like, most of the content's in. We do the tech setup, and we finally get to meet Rance and Hogan. And let me just show you, these guys are like the sickest badasses known to man. So here's Hogan. Hogan is a total baller. He shows up with this like mohawk, and he has these like awesome Greek letters on his arms, like tattooed, and he had like untied high tops and like baggy pants. And like Rance, where's Rance? Here's Rance at the TriCaster. These guys are these sickest heroes known to man. There's Rance looking musing, looking suspiciously at the camera, and there's all the TriCaster equipment right there. There's a monitor screen, and these guys show up. First time I've ever met him, on the recommendation of DJ Wheat. And DJ Wheat literally said, quote, "You will never meet two better guys to be running an event with you." So we're like, oh, that's pretty awesome. That's fantastic. So we had no idea, because these guys, when they came there, holy shit, they knew everything. Like, they didn't even introduce themselves to the Harvey Mudd tech guy. All those guys just immediately started bonding with words that meant nothing to me. It was like, can an SGGH GGI cable push a 16 by 9 by 9 by 10 HD? And Hogan's like, why wouldn't it? And I'm sitting there trying to act smart. I'm like, dude, totally, man. And like all the Harvey Mudd tech guys, like anytime we were like, do you have like weird requirements? Do you have a VGA cable that splits into an SDI and S-video cable? And Harvey Mudd's like, yeah, we got 4. They have like a box of it. They even have like a Mac dongle case where they open it up and it's like every possible assortment of things that a Mac could plug into anything else. So Oh, and here's the coolest thing ever. Nerds, you're going to have a nerdgasm on this one. We tried to find out what the internet speed was at Harvey Mudd. Okay, it's 100 megabit download and 75 megabit upload. Oh my god. I run my streams in a blisteringly high 1 megabit up. It was 75 megabits up. So I was like, all right, cool, we're set on that. So that's amazing. But it's the day beforehand. We're still unsure about the food situation. Because ticket-wise, it was stupid, right? We had like 150 ticket sales a week before the event. And then in like the final days, they just bulged up really high. So we did not buy enough food. We're like, well, if only 150, 200 people are going to be there, we're only going to get, 80, 100 pizzas. And it just skyrockets to the point where like 500 people are going to show up to this event. So we have to make all these calls and everything. And we're trying to get everything set up. And it's like 2 p.m. on Sunday. And this is where real crisis time begins. We're feeling okay. We think we got everything. So I sit down and I try to start to do the HD recording of the tournament videos. Because I want it in HD. I don't want any of this silly, goofy stuff that's in, like 700 bitrate. I want like 10,000 bitrate videos. And I start to do the recording, and I realize that I'm using kind of a funky codec. I'm encoding in H.263 Plus using a program called VH Capture. Weird format. Doesn't matter if you don't know what this is, but it's kind of weird. And I call Rance and I said, is there any chance I could test a video with you? And he's like, well, you haven't done the recordings for the videos? I was like, no, I just want to make sure it works. And the audio worked, but the video didn't. And I was like, oh my god. And he's like, well, yeah, you can roll the dice and try to, just record everything with your nice regular recorder that has everything in small compressed file sizes. But what you really should do is you should fraps it and get it in like HD. Right? You really need to just get raw AVI, because that'll definitely work in there. So after more research, instead of actually just going and recording with fraps, it's like 5 p.m. now, I decided to try to figure out if H.263 Plus works in this TriCaster. And we can't find out any evidence that it does. I'm kind of like, so I start frapsing it. And like an idiot, I don't have enough hard drive space. Because it's about 4 gigabytes per 2 minutes. Or, no, it's the other way around. It's about 2 gigabytes per 4 minutes. And there was about 4 hours of footage in there. So I literally did not own enough hard drive space. No, it was 4 gigabytes for 3 minutes. Sorry, I keep going all over the place. 4 gigabytes for 3 minutes. 4 gigabytes for 3 minutes. A fuck of a lot of gigabytes, right? It was, my hard drive, I think, literally only physically has 250 gigabytes on it. So suddenly, I have like no way to record these videos. It's like impossible. So the only way that we can think to do it at like 8 p.m. the night before is to run out and get like a terabyte hard drive. So Mom's still trying to call to figure out food. We get this terabyte hard drive. So it's 8 p.m. I record the videos. I record like a 20-minute segment. But because I don't have enough hard drive space, I can record one game, then my hard drive's full, and I gotta move everything to the external hard drive, which takes like another 20 minutes. I didn't get a FireWire cable, so couldn't do it at like, crazy fast speed. So we're just stuck. Just constantly shifting over, like playing one game, shifting. So I finished 4 of 13 games that I needed to record, and it was 1 a.m. So we had to drive to the hotel. Either I was going to stay up all night recording these, or we were going to drive to the hotel with my computer. We were going to record it there. So that's what we did. So I unhooked my computer. I'm putting everything on there. We have to cart it out. Some of the videos that the community people submitted were in funky formats, so those didn't work, so we're having to re-encode those ones. So I get there, and like I go to sleep at like 1:30, and I'm just like stressed out of my mind, because we're pretty sure we have TVs, we don't know about the food, some of the content's not working, and the most important part of the entire event, the HD videos of the final Razor King of the Beta games, don't work. We don't have a tournament. So we get there at like 1:30, we check and go to bed at like 2 or so, and I just want to state for the record, JP flew in like that Sunday, and we were like out at Harvey Mudd doing the test, so I was like, yeah, JP, just get a ride to my house, my roommate will let you. So we just like ship JP in my house, and JP, he's like totally cool with it. Because JP's done tons of events at MLG, so he's like seen the crisis of an event. That guy is like cool as a cucumber. Let me tell you something, cucumbers, pretty fucking cool. So JP was like completely calm, and I'm like in there stressing. I'm like, oh my god, we're not going to have a video. And JP's just like texting on his iPhone, so he's like fine with everything. So we all get in this packed car and like haul ourselves out to Claremont, which, by the way, another 45 minutes in the middle of the night. We like miss the exit on the highway, so we're on there for like an hour and a half. We get in. I sleep for like 2.5 hours. Mom doesn't sleep at all. I sleep for like 2.5 hours, and I get up, and starting at 5 a.m., I begin re-recording the videos. And I still have to do the same thing. Record the videos, too full, have to move them over to the external. Record the video, now my hard drive's full, have to move it over to the external. So I finally finish at 1 p.m. We're going live at 4 p.m., right? Going live at 4 friggin' p.m. I'm exhausted. I'm burnt out. I've carpal tunnel because I'm like hunched at a friggin' hotel room over my computer. And I finally give the videos to Rance, who's at the TriCaster. They have everything set up. We're feeling good. Like, okay. And none of my videos work. The tournament videos did not work. And it was 1 p.m. And again, 4 hours of footage that I had to record, and about another 2.5, 3 hours of transfer time that I had to do, and like none of it works. I was just like, holy shit. It's like 1 p.m. and at this point, like, that's when we finally realized that about 500-600 people were going to be showing up for this thing. And one of the tech guys at Harvey Mudd was like, oh, hey, just checked on the stream. There's like 15,000 people waiting for you on the stream, ready to go. You know, like, oh, that breaks all Harvey Mudd's records. And we're just like, all right, that is 15,600 people. I'm going to be disappointing. All right, that's okay. All right, okay. So this is 1 p.m. for me. Now, I just want to say that my mom, who stayed up all night, went to the event at like 8 a.m. while I'm sitting there encoding in the hotel. And this is when the real heroes of the event come there, right? When we have Tom, who said he would bring the TVs, brought like tons of TVs. And there was all these amazing people who showed up. Like just people who just came to the event. Like there was like these two sets of brothers who drove down from Sacramento all night. They got there at like 1 p.m. We didn't have anything set up, and Tom just coordinated with them and set up all the TVs and all the banners. And, you know, like Mom and I are like running around screaming, and Eric's like driving in from the airport because he was out of town. He was on vacation like a douche, right? Like, well, we're freaking out about all this stuff. So he just set up like absolutely everything. Like, everyone was pitching in. It was really nice, but I'm still sitting there freaking out at this computer. And Rance and Hogan, by the way, like have done 1,000,001 live events, so they're just like cool as, they're also cool as cucumbers. I don't know why I like that phrase, but I certainly do. So they were just like, all right, well, your videos don't work, but we're just going to go to lunch. We'll be back in a little bit. So they go to Chipotle, and they're gone for like an hour. I'm sitting here like, oh, I'm like trying to re-encode the videos into a million different formats. They don't work. I'm like trying to call Diggity. I'm like, Diggity, help. Nothing is actually functioning here. And he's like trying to get me to figure out ways to re-encode it. I've downloaded like 15 programs to the TriCaster. Like nothing works. Like 0 things are working. And at this point, a guy named Brett comes down. Again, one of these early arrivals to the launch party, and he's like confidently walking up to me. He's like, hey, like extends his hand. He's like, hey, Day 9, it's great to meet you. And apparently my stress had bled out into the hall, because he's like, I hear that the tournament videos aren't working, and I want you to know, even if there's no tournament, this is still going to be an awesome event. Which was like a powerfully nice thing to say. It didn't quite register until like maybe 10 minutes later how reassuring that was, because I was a bumbling fool. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I think I deal with stress pretty damn well. I'm always kind of like, oh yeah, you know, I gotta stay up all night to do something, no problem, I'll just get it done. But I like was ready to shut down stress. Like, I was just like, oh my god, because we had like sponsors for the event. Razer, who again sponsors this whole tournament, can't be like, well, I finally got the replays, but you know, can't do the video. So I pull my mom aside. I like go sit in this hallway, and I'm like, Mom, we don't have a tournament, and I am so stressed. I don't know what to do. Like, my head's gonna explode. And she says, okay, Sean, I want you to know that if this doesn't work, it's okay. We'll just pay all the sponsors back. We'll give everyone their money back for the event, and we'll just take the hit.